welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a focused look at a city that's just buzzing with entrepreneurial energy, Shenzhen, China, and specifically, its landscape of co-working spaces.
Right. And whether you're maybe mapping out a business trip to Asia or perhaps considering expanding your startup there, or, even if you're just fascinated by global work trends, understanding the co-working scene in a major innovation hub like Shenzhen is, well, it's incredibly valuable perspective.
Absolutely. And to help us navigate this, we're actually drawing on some insights informed by moveandstay.com. They've been around for, over 25 years, helping business travelers and expats find places to work and stay right across Asia.
Yeah, they have a really deep understanding of the region, so they're a great resource for this kind of information. Our goal today really is to get under the skin of Shenzhen's co-working scene. We want to go beyond just the surface descriptions, pull out the key things to consider, maybe some surprising insights, basically help you feel informed and prepared, whatever your reason for being interested in Shenzhen might be.
Okay, let's kick this off. Shenzhen has, it's rapidly become this global powerhouse for tech and innovation. People call it China's Silicon Valley. Things move fast there. How has that incredible growth actually driven the demand for flexible workspaces like co-working?
That's a really key connection. Shenzhen's just explosive growth as this hub for innovation, for creativity. It's naturally created this thriving ecosystem. You've got startups, freelancers, even established companies needing adaptable ways to work.
Right.
Think about it if you're a new company just finding your feet, or maybe a team scaling up really quickly, committing to a traditional long-term office lease. That can be a huge barrier.
Yeah, big commitment up front.
Exactly. So co-working spaces step right in. They provide that crucial flexibility, that scalability. It just perfectly matches Shenzhen's dynamic business rhythm.
That makes complete sense. So if you're actually looking at co-working in Shenzhen, what kind of variety can you expect? It's not just like rows of identical desks, is it?
Oh, not at all. The scene there is surprisingly diverse. It's really designed to cater to a broad range of needs, different work styles. You'll find open workspaces, first off. These are essentially large shared areas.
Sure.
They tend to be the most cost-effective, and they often have this really lively, kind of collaborative vibe. And within those open spaces, you usually see different setups. There's hot desking, grab any free desk.
Right. Flexible.
Then fixed desks, which give you your own dedicated spot, but still in that communal area. And sometimes larger communal tables, good for, group work.
Okay, that sounds great for someone who likes that buzz and maybe doesn't need tons of personal space. But what if you do? What if you need privacy or just a consistent setup every day?
Yeah, good point. For people or maybe small teams needing more privacy, a bit more permanence, you've got dedicated desks and private offices readily available. A dedicated desk, like I said, gives you your own spot in a shared area, so a bit more stability. Private offices, though, are actual enclosed rooms. Much more quiet, more security. Ideal if you're dealing with confidential stuff or if a team needs its own defined space.
Makes sense. And what if you don't need a full-time space, but you occasionally need, say, a professional setting for a client meeting or maybe to host a small workshop?
Most co-working spaces in Shenzhen definitely get that need. They usually provide bookable meeting rooms, and some even have larger event spaces you can hire.
That's handy.
It's a huge advantage, really. Gives you access to professional facilities without the cost of having your own all the time. It's always smart, though, to check their booking process, how easy it is, what the availability is like, and crucially, what equipment they have. Projectors, screens, video conferencing kit, that sort of thing.
Good practical tips.
Yeah.
And I've heard about virtual office memberships. What exactly are those?
Ah, right. Virtual offices are a pretty cost-effective way to get a business presence in Shenzhen without actually renting physical space day to day. Usually it means you get a proper Shenzhen business address for your mail and official stuff, plus mail handling services.
Okay, so a mailing address mainly.
Primarily, yes. But often these memberships also give you the option to book their meeting rooms on an ad hoc basis. So it's perfect if you just need to meet clients in person occasionally.
Gotcha. So moving beyond just the aesthetics or the type of desk.
Yeah.
What are the absolute must-have features someone should be digging into when they're comparing co-working options in Shenzhen?
Well, looking at resources like moveandstay.com, what really stands out is that, while, yeah, the design might catch your eye first, the real value is in the fundamentals, the infrastructure.
Like?
High-speed, reliable Wi-Fi. That's just completely non-negotiable today, right?
Absolutely.
And comfortable ergonomic seating sounds basic, but it's critical if you're working there for hours. Productivity, well-being, a decent chair makes a huge difference.
Totally agree. You don't want slow internet or an aching back distracting you. What else is high priority?
If you think you'll need meeting rooms, definitely dig into the specifics. How easy is the booking system? What AV equipment do they actually have? How big are the rooms? And crucially, are they properly soundproofed? You need privacy for sensitive talks.
Soundproofing. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
You don't want your confidential chats leaking through thin walls. Now, one of the big selling points of co-working is often the community, the connections. How important is that aspect in Shenzhen spaces?
Oh, it's incredibly important. These spaces in Shenzhen, they're designed to be more than just desks. They're actively trying to cultivate connections, foster collaboration. You should look for spaces that organize community events, networking opportunities.
Like what kind of event?
It could be anything, really. Industry-specific workshops, maybe social gatherings after work, talks by guest speakers, informal meetups. These things can be invaluable for sparking ideas, building your professional network. You might find a marketing consultant chatting with a tech startup founder at lunch, and boom, a new project kicks off.
So it's really about plugging into that local ecosystem, not just renting a chair.
Exactly.
What about commitment then? Are you locked into long contracts like traditional offices?
That's where co-working really shines the flexibility. You'll generally find a whole range of membership options. Day passes, even hourly bookings are perfect for occasional needs. Think business travelers, freelancers needing a change of scene for a day.
And what sort of price are we talking for those? Ballpark.
Typically, you might see day passes around, say, 100 to 200 Chinese yuan, give or take.
Okay, that's pretty accessible for short-term needs. What about people looking for something more regular?
Right. For more consistent use, long-term memberships offer more benefits. You often get a dedicated desk or even a private office, plus things like 247 access, maybe credits for using meeting rooms, printing, mail handling included.
Ah, so bundled extras.
Yeah, and often if you commit to a longer period, say 6 months or a year, you can get better monthly rates. Plus, being there longer term really lets you integrate into that community aspect we talked about.
And it seems like regardless of your membership level, there are probably some standard shared things everyone gets access to.
Exactly. High-speed Wi-Fi, access to some meeting rooms, though maybe with booking fees, kitchen facilities, breakout areas or common lounges, printing and scanning. Those are pretty standard. And the beauty, as moveandstay.com often points out for people relocating, is that adaptability. You can often scale your membership up or down as your business needs change.
Right. Let's talk money, the financial side.
Sure.
What kind of average monthly costs are we looking at for co-working in Shenzhen?
Okay. Based on the info out there, you might see averages. Maybe around 2,180 US dollars a month for an open workspace spot. For a dedicated desk, that average might be closer to $2,800.
Oh.
But these are just averages. The actual price can vary quite a lot depending on several factors.
Right. So what are the main things that push the price up or down?
Location is huge. A space in a prime central business district like Fushun or Luohu.
Near the big corporates and government offices?
Exactly. Those will generally cost more than something further out in the suburbs. Then amenities. Spaces with more fancy perks, gyms, cafes, whatever. That adds to the cost. Contract length, too. Longer commitments usually mean better rates per month.
Makes sense.
And, of course, the type of space you choose. Open plan is cheapest, then dedicated desks, then private offices are usually the most expensive.
So it definitely pays to shop around and weigh up what you actually need versus the cost.
Absolutely. And you should always, always check directly with the spaces you're interested in, get their current rates, ask about any special offers or discounts. Averages are a guide, but you need the real-time price for budgeting.
You mentioned some key districts like Fushun and Luohu. Can you elaborate a bit on why location choice within Shenzhen is so strategic, depending on what you do?
Sure. So, like we said, Fushun and Luohu, the CBDs, they're ideal if you need to be close to established corporations, financial institutions, government bodies, lots of networking potential there if that's your sector.
And the tech scene.
That's really centered in Nanshan district. It's home to the Shenzhen High-Tech Industrial Park, tons of leading tech companies. So co-working spaces in Nanshan often cater specifically to that tech community. You might find specialized things like prototyping labs or events focused on venture capital. The whole atmosphere there is very innovation-driven, very collaborative for tech.
That makes perfect sense. Being physically near your industry peers offers huge advantages. What about just practical things like getting there? Accessibility.
Yeah, accessibility, transport links, super important. Being near major metro lines or good bus routes makes the daily commute easier for you and for any clients or partners visiting. Areas like Qinghai, for example, are developing fast and boast really good connectivity, including efficient links to Hong Kong. That's a major plus for businesses with cross-border interests.
Interesting.
Right.
Like the WeWork Vicine Shenzhen Business Park you mentioned earlier, that's in Shenzhen Bay Area, right? Good central spot.
Exactly. That's a good example of a well-connected central option. Ultimately, though, the right location depends on your specific industry, your budget, and how critical easy access is for you.
Okay, so we've covered the space, the features, the cost, the location. Let's circle back to community and networking. How does that actually play out day to day in these Shenzhen spaces?
All right, the real value here is the opportunities for just organic connection, tapping into this diverse mix of people and businesses you wouldn't normally meet. The events and workshops they put on are a big part of it. One week it might be a tech panel, the next a casual networking drinks thing, maybe a skill sharing session.
So, structured ways to meet people.
Yes, but also some spaces let members host their own events. That's a great way to raise your profile within that community.
That sounds really valuable for learning and just expanding your professional circle.
Definitely. And it's not just the scheduled stuff. Think about the potential for just spontaneous collaboration that happens from casual chats.
In the kitchen or breakout areas.
Exactly. You strike up a conversation, find someone with the skill you need or a shared interest, and suddenly you're working on a project together. It's also about building those informal professional relationships, finding peers who can offer advice, support, maybe just a fresh perspective when you're stuck. Those casual chats can be surprisingly valuable.
It's like getting an instant network when you join. Okay, so someone's convinced they want to try it. What's the typical process for actually booking a space in Shenzhen?
Generally, it's pretty streamlined now. Most spaces have online booking platforms, websites, or apps. You typically start by browsing, checking availability for the type of space you want, maybe filtering by amenities.
Standard online booking stuff.
Pretty much. You'll probably need to create an account, select the specific desk or office, then carefully review the booking details, the terms and conditions, then confirm and pay, usually online. And like moveandstay.com often suggests for travelers, check if they offer a free trial day. It's a great way to test the waters before committing.
Good tip. Okay, sounds fairly user-friendly. But what if plans change? What are cancellation policies usually like?
They can really vary, so you absolutely have to read the fine print before booking. It's crucial. For day passes, often they're non-refundable or you have a very short window to cancel. Meeting rooms usually need more notice, maybe 24 to 48 hours if you want a full refund. Monthly memberships tend to be the strictest. You might need 30 days notice to cancel, and there could be early termination fees if you leave before your contract is up.
Definitely worth checking those details up front to avoid surprises. Lastly, thinking practically, is there a best time to actually book, depending on what you need?
Good question. For meeting rooms, yeah, plan ahead. Especially if you need a specific size or certain equipment, aim for at least a week or two in advance, maybe more for popular times.
Okay.
If you're looking for a dedicated desk or a private office, like for a longer term, start your search a month or two ahead. Gives you time to compare properly. Day passes are more flexible, obviously. You can often book on short notice. But booking a few days ahead is still a good idea, especially if you need a spot during busy weekdays.
Right, makes sense. So let's try and bring this all together. What's the main takeaway for someone thinking about Shenzhen's co-working scene?
I think the key takeaway is just how diverse and adaptable Shenzhen's co-working landscape really is. It genuinely offers solutions for a whole spectrum of work needs and budgets. It's not just about finding a desk, it's about understanding those nuances, the location, the community potential, the membership flexibility that can really, enhance your whole work experience there.
And it really sounds like you need to look beyond just how the place looks initially and really dig into those deeper practical things.
Absolutely. Things like the strength of the community, how flexible the terms are, the strategic benefit of the location. Those factors can make all the difference in the end, your overall experience, your success even.
This has been really insightful. Thanks. Considering how fast innovation hubs are growing everywhere, it does make you wonder, how might the trends we're seeing in Shenzhen's co-working spaces kind of foreshadow the future of work in your city or your industry? And maybe, what are some of those less obvious benefits of shared workspaces that traditional offices might be missing out on? Definitely some food for thought there. Thanks for taking this deep dive with me today.